Welcome back, and today I'm going to be doing a cult episode. Yeah, I'm going to do, it's, what's it called? The Transcension Project. Definitely raises the cult flag in my, my book. I've been seeing a lot of, on the subreddits I go into, I've been seeing like a lot of talk about it being culty, being a cult, yada yada yada. So this morning, I read through a lot of the I read through a lot of their subreddit, and what I got from it is, well, basically correct. They idolize a single person, and they don't really take too well to anybody criticizing that person or any of their beliefs or anything along those lines. Just recently, they restricted posting and access and stuff along those lines to their subreddit, and they also have a rule in there for their subreddit that clearly states if you mention us as a cult in any kind of light, it said if you call them a cult, you will be banned. No and, ifs, or buts, you will be banned. And they're basically, what they're doing right now is they're screening everybody, the mods, they're screening everybody that wants to post, since they restricted their Reddit. So they're screening everybody to see if they're basically worthy to post in their forum. They want to see if they scan to see if they've posted anything negative about their Oh Glorious Leader Angeli, which is self-appointed and means, I believe it was the Enlightened One. So, yeah. Basically, they're looking to see if anyone has talked negative about them or basically brought them up in other subreddits and stuff like that. And if you have, you don't get to be a part of their little niche community, right? And that's really about it. I mean, it's just everything about it is just real culty vibes. Like, they hang on the word of this single person, and it's all about alien disclosure about how this woman a few years ago, or I'm not exactly sure when all of this happened. I think it was a few years ago this supposedly happened. Was in the Mojave Desert with friends or acquaintances. I'm not really specific on the entire story of everything, I guess I should say. Not too fluent on that. I was just basically skimming through it and just reading stuff up on it. I mean, I get the gist of the story. She was in the Mojave Desert and I guess her friend dug a hole into a mountain, which I don't know. Dug a hole in a mountain, and they found an alien base, went in and met two different species. One was some gray species, and some was some white thing. Okay? And it gives all these credentials to try to make herself look, put herself in a good light to make herself look reliable and everything. And it's just like, well, I mean, you worked in the Department of Defense doing I believe it was someone found credentials for her that she did something along the lines of dark stuff to do with like the dark web and that kind of stuff, like manipulation campaigns. I might be wrong, but she worked with like the DoD and stuff along that line, and with the internet, and apparently she's dealt with Russian agents before, so Russian disinformation agents on the internet. So she's well versed in internet campaigns, from my understanding, and I mean, it kind of makes sense if for someone that's in that kind of field, it would be quite easy to manipulate some people. At least, if that's what you've done, if that's what you did in the past, wouldn't it be very easy to know how to use that to your advantage if you want to get people to believe things you want to say, how to word things, how to present stuff, how to push dates, how to manipulate your presence on the internet to get people to want to surround themselves with you. I mean, I would imagine she would have to be very charismatic even in person. It seems like she might be. I mean, I've never interacted with her. I've never interacted with anybody on there, but I was just lurking, honestly, and it's a giant echo chamber, and anyone that is skeptic at all, it's just met with harsh, like, just extreme prejudice, and it's just, I don't understand it. Like, well, I do understand it. It's a fucking cult, right? Like, follow me, we're the right way. Your way is wrong. What we do is right. Follow blindly in me, and you will gain transcendence, and you will find out the truth in aliens and their technology when I am able to disclose them when I see fit. Right? So follow me and you will know the truths of the universe. I mean, that's basically what I'm getting out of this, is just a typical, just new age culty bullshit, right? That's what it is. And to say otherwise is just horseshit. To me, it's fucking horseshit. And there was this, someone was saying something negative about her. It wasn't even like that. It wasn't even like bad. And she came, and the leader of them came after this, like, threatened this person with like legal action, saying, because they were being skeptical of everything that she was saying. And it's like, what the fuck, man? Like, why would you threaten somebody because they don't believe what you're saying? Do you know how many people on Reddit all the time come up with fake bullshit like this? Like, people have a right to question what you fucking say. No one should just blindly follow anything people say. If you don't have evidence, any kind of proof whatsoever that what you're saying even has a fucking hint of truth, right? Then why should people just blindly follow in the line and be like, this bitch knows what she talking about. She knows it. She is the light and the truth, motherfuckers. Right? Like, and then get angry with people, especially your followers. Yes, I guess you would call them your followers, because they blindly follow, apparently. But people who follow you, who are skeptical of some of the stuff you say, like some of your shit, right? And when they are, you attack them. I get it, you want to, I get it, you want to get rid of any kind of distrust in your area, right? So it can't breed more distrust. You wanna cut that off at the nutsack. You want to get rid of it. You want it all gone. The only thing you want surrounding yourself is blind faith. Just complete blind belief. And that's all you want to surround yourself with. Because those are the easiest people to get to, for you to get them to do what you want. God, I couldn't talk for a second. Jesus Christ. But, right? You wanna push out, you want to weed out all of the non-believers, all of the skeptics. You only want those who are there to believe and hang on every word you say. And those that don't, they have no room for the transcended future of humanity. Those to meet the mantis aliens. Oh yeah, apparently they're mantis aliens or some shit like that too. Which, from the little bit I've read, I've only seen it come up, I guess, recently. And I don't know if it was part of the original thought, like the original story. I'm thinking things change over time, you know how cults do. They magically they magically come up with new theories, new ideas, interpret their stories differently over time, and plant different information in it and claim it as it's originally been there, even if it wasn't, and people call it out. It's, no, I said it, you're just reading it wrong, it was there, you know, gaslighting, that kind of shit. Like, I get it, and, I mean, I get, there's also things that are, I guess, wrong with what some people are doing. I mean, I guess there's no proof of it, at least that I've seen yet, and it's, the leader of all of this is saying that there's some people threatening, like, her family and stuff like that, and I mean, if that's happening, don't threaten people's families, okay? Like, it's fucked up, regardless. Like, don't threaten people. That's not the way to really get things going. Like, don't really know how to help people in a cult, honestly, except, I guess, expose what's really happening. Like, which is really fucking hard, honestly, because if you believe in this shit, you're basically fucked. I mean, you get stuck in these things because you find that you want to be in you need a sense of purpose for the most part, right? And it's really hard to get people out of these things. Like, a lot of these people it seems like we're really, really on board with the whole throwaway alien nonsense that I talked about before. I mean, it was cool, it was interesting, but I mean, I wasn't on board with it. I caught wind of it a few days before it was supposed to, you know, all go down, so I decided to follow. It's like, well, what's the worst that happens? Aliens actually show up, right? What's the worst, you know? That was actually best case scenario. Aliens show up. Other than that, well, I go on with my daily life. Nothing else changes. And it seems like there's a good bit of people that are now on board with this because that was all fake, you know. And now they immediately jumped on board with this bullshit because it seems like they need something. They need something to follow, or they need to be told something. They need something to fill a hole in them. And this is what they're using, is somebody that's offering them a way to escape, a way to become something bigger, a way to transcend, I guess. A way to be a part of something bigger than humanity, I would say. You know, to follow the enlightened one, to follow the chosen one, right? To be a part of the chosen one's following, so they can be, when the disclosure happens of the aliens that she's discovered, happens, they could say, I was a part of this. I knew it. I knew about this before all of you. It's basically that, I feel like. And it's, I have no idea how you would help anybody in that kind of situation who's just so lost inside this kind of reality, you know? I mean, I love conspiracies, okay? But that doesn't mean I'm going to lose myself inside them. Like, I know I have shit to do. I mean, if I lost myself in everything I thought was a conspiracy, shit, I wouldn't be going to work because I thought the world was going to end tomorrow morning or some shit. I'll quit my job and go, well, I'm going to go join a death cult. Or something. I don't fucking know, right? But that's basic. I don't know how you would go about doing something about this besides exposing it for what it is and somehow getting them to acknowledge what it is, which I feel like is basically impossible in a way, but I don't know. It's just like when I first started noticing these topics coming up, because I'm always lurking on these I guess I would say UFO subreddits and stuff, like a few of them, and I noticed this one the Transcension Project, which I'm talking about, coming up more and more and more. Like, okay. And you know, I didn't really pay much attention of it because I was like, well, what the fuck do I care? And then, you know, anytime people, and then it just started getting more and more posts about it. So I'd start reading it, and from what I gathered of it, from just reading like the minute posts on like other subreddits and stuff like that, and from other people, not from the official page of it, not from like the horse's mouth, okay, from like third party, from third party view, from others' views or whatever. God, my mind just shit a fucking brick there for a second. I feel like an idiot. But from like others' point of views, there we go. From others' point of views, it just seemed like, okay, there's something a little bit shady going on here, right? So, I just kind of read posts here and there and everything about it. Anytime people would post things, I'm like, this is a little bit, strange. Like, and, you know, I didn't think it was, like, actually, like, really as, culty as people were saying it was or anything like that. Until, like, today when I went up and started going through it and going, oh, okay, like, it really is. Like, there's even, like, there was actually a post from one of the people that are actually on board with all of this going, I am in a cult. And go on to define, like, following a leader blind, like, following a single person and what else? Basically just goes on and on, just lists the reasons why they're in a cult and why they fucking enjoy it. It's like, well, you know, it might not be enjoyable if she decides to lead you guys in a different fucking direction. Like, you know, start trying to weasel money out of you, or, you know, some kind of monetary bullshit, like, starts trying to take your money, starts trying to do other shit, who knows, like, It could all be innocent, honestly. Like, it could just be real culty, right? It could be a fucking cult, but it could be fucking completely innocent at the end. Completely benign, okay? But having people following you like that, and having that mindset of, well, anyone that is against her is against us versus them, and we have to protect ourselves because they aren't right, they are wrong, we are right, and hanging on every word she says could get dangerous if she wants to, flip the script and start doing something a little bit different. It doesn't have to be drastic over, like an overnight change, just kind of start walking things in a different direction, slowly asking for money, slowly saying we need to leave society, that kind of shit. Society doesn't understand us. We need to completely exclude ourselves from the rest of the world. I am open, stuff like that. I'm sure if something like that happens, there's only going to be a select few of the people there that would be like, yep, I'm there. And there's going to be a lot of them that are going to, yeah, this is nuts. At least I'd hope. But who knows? I mean, that's that shit that can happen. Because how many fucking times has it happened in history? Especially recent history. It's happened tons of fucking times. Like, it's happening today. I know it's happening right now. Right now, there is some nut job that has fucking people believing that he's a fucking second coming of Lord Xenu or some shit. Right? Who knows? I mean, a couple years ago, they just got that what? Oh, God, I can't think of what it was called. VI, or whatever they're called. That sex cult or whatever with that chick from Smallville. Like, if celebrities aren't exempt from this shit, famous people aren't exempt. So, I mean, anybody could fall victim to it, honestly. It's just, how charismatic is this person? How much do you want to believe in what they're selling you? And can they convince you to do what they want? And how bad do you need what they want? Is it the right, what they're giving you, is it the right thing that's going to fill the hole in you? Is it the right thing that you need in your life right now that's going to make you feel whole? That's really the thing. That's really what it is. And it's not really like culty, like it's not dangerous yet. Like, this isn't like dangerous because, well, I guess they did have people meet up she had a press conference the other day, and people did drive out, like, went out to go see this press conference. So it's not like it's not like it's just only online, which sometimes I forget this stuff isn't just online because, that's where I'm looking at. I'm like, oh, well, yeah, it's just online. Like, how not, I mean, it could only, it's like benign. It can't be that bad if it's only people, like, talking online and being a giant echo chamber online. I mean, it's only an online call. Well, I mean, I totally spaced on that. There was a press conference, or so-called a press conference. I don't know how much of a press conference it was. I think it was just them going out and filming themselves talk to a bunch of their own followers, basically. I don't think there was actually press there. I don't think any press actually showed up. I think they just filmed themselves and called it a press conference. But I might be wrong on that. But, so don't quote me that press didn't come up. But people did show up. I'm not sure how many, but so I guess that does take it into the more of like an actual cult range. Like, hey, I'm going to be here, I'm going to speak, and people show up. Does that again, more people come. It's just a never-ending cycle. But I mean, I don't know how many people actually showed up. Also, given the fact that, you know, it's the end of the world as we know it, right? But yeah, I don't know. I don't know how that went. Basically, from what I get, is that they went from the whole press conference thing. She showed up, explained who she was, answered a few questions, and left. And explained that she's going to go enter this alien base at some point, and that was really about it. I don't understand the whole point of the press conference, but I also don't pay attention to that kind of shit, really, because I'm not on board with that kind of stuff. I'm not, like, I don't really care if somebody running, like, that's trying to form a cult goes and does anything, because it doesn't concern my life. You know, it's a very strange, to me it's just very strange seeing that kind of, those kind of interactions, honestly. Just how people can become enamored by people like that, you know? Just need that much sense of purpose that they can just listen to what anybody says. I wonder if this is going to get found by them, and they're going to come and I guess attack me for talking shit. Because that'll be funny. Going, you don't know what you're talking about. We're not a cult. Yada, yada, yada. Like, that would be funny. Like, fuck it. I mean, I think it's a cult. At least, it's definitely on its way to being a cult. Especially if your own fans, followers, whatever the fuck you want to call it. You have one that has even said, I am in a cult. I mean, I don't think it's too far off for me to say, yins are a cult, right? Right. Like, I don't think I'm out of line there. Like, you don't think I'm out of line for calling it a cult? At least I don't know. I might be. I mean, it sure as shit seems like one. Just, you know, attacking anyone that disagrees with anything they say, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. Being skeptical of any of their leader, being skeptical of anything they say, she's right. No, why don't you believe her? No, she's right. You're wrong. You're wrong. No, you're just a non-believer in this stuff. It doesn't, no, you're a non-believer. Like, this completely comes at you saying that you don't believe in any of this stuff. That's why you don't believe her. It's like, no, like, I'm totally on board for, like, I would love for somebody to come out and just randomly pull aliens out of their butt and go, look, fucking found them. See, this is where they're at. They were hiding. I knew where they were. I found them. Here they are. Would love that shit. I would actually love for someone who wasn't full of shit to be able to do disclosure, would be able to actually do what all these people who said that they know aliens exist and they can find them, or they're going to show up on this date, to actually be fucking right. I would absolutely adore that, but, you know, it's not really real. Like, they're all full of shit when they say that. How many times have people prophesized about the end of the world is going to be here? Jesus is coming back this day. The flying spaghetti monster is going to come out my butthole today, and the only one that's ever happened is someone shit their pants that day or something. I don't fucking know. Nothing's ever happened. Ever. Ever. Nothing. Nothing. They're all just trying to get fame, notoriety, something. Or they're just whack jobs that smoke too much meth for a while, and they're like, well, the shadow people are coming today, and they are going to steal all of your pubes. Because they just stole mine. You know, like they're just losing their shit, you know? Basically. It's one or two things. They're doing it for some form of notoriety for whatever reason, or two, they're doing it because they really believe it, and it's probably some form of delusion. And there's probably a third one. I would say there is actually real times it happens, but it doesn't deal with prophecy dates at all. There are people, I believe 100%, when people come out and tell stories about meeting aliens and shit like that, that is fucking real. But the ones that come out and have these prophecy dates and shit like this, or I'm going to disclose them on this day, or here in the future and stuff like this, or I'm going to show you that aliens exist sometime in the future on this day or whenever. Those people are all full of shit, and they're doing it for some hidden agenda or something else. They're all full of shit. Because never once in history have they done it. Ever. But that's just my opinion. But the people who I am positive that people that have like abduction stories and shit like that, it happens. It really fucking happens, right? I'm not talking down on them. I'm just saying the ones that have, the prophecy date motherfuckers. They're the ones that are full of it. And what I'm trying to say is that the people that are hanging on all the... What I'm getting at is that there's people that are hanging on the words of, like, the leader of the Transcension Project. Just, they want to... They're attacking people, like, not like actually attacking. It's more than being defensive. Like, it's, I guess it is like attacking, like verbally attacking people and shit like that. If you don't agree with their agenda, like if you don't agree with their narrative, if you don't agree with what their leaders preaching, promoting, saying, whatever you want to call it, if you don't believe what they're saying to be facts, truth, or whatever, it seems like they're saying that you're wrong, she's right, why can't you believe what they're saying, like, she's not lying. It's weird. Like, someone brought up the fact that, well, it had to do with, like, DMT or something like that. I'm gonna totally brutalize this, okay? Just a forewarning, but it dealt with her doing DMT and then not being completely truthful about it, and then something about it had to do with her doing DMT and not being 100% truthful about it, and then bringing it up later. Okay, and then talking about how she used it or something along those lines for communication with the aliens, or how that's how these entities are real. Like I said, I'm probably brutalizing this really, really fucking badly because I'm trying to remember what is said, and I'm not doing a very good job of it right now. But it was along those lines, and what one of her followers said was, well, that has nothing to do with it, but That has nothing to do with her doing drugs and the stigma of doing drugs. The stigma is that there's a stigma with believing in UFOs, and the person who was being skeptical of it was, we're not talking about that. We're talking about the fact that she lied about doing the DMT, so what else could she be lying about? It was just all about the fact of lies. That was all the basis was the fact that she withheld information or something along those lines. That was it. And I mean, I completely understand that. Like, if you're going to withhold some form of stupid information that no one gives a shit about, because who the fuck cares or gives a shit about doing DMT anymore, right? Like, I mean, I feel like that's becoming kind of like a normish kind of thing now. Like, thanks, Joe Rogan. Like, thank you, Father Joe Rogan. Like, Jesus Christ, man. Like, no one really gives a shit about tripping anymore. It's not like that weird anymore. It's not like she was sitting there shooting heroin or anything like that. I don't know. It's just, I get it. But I mean, I don't get the fact of hiding that kind of stuff, especially if you're trying to put yourself in like a spotlight and shit like that. Like, just come all out, come out swinging and be like, this is me, and let it all hang out, motherfucker. Because people are going to find out things when you come out and do that you're probably not going to want them to know, so you might as well just let it all out there. You know? That's really about it. I mean, you might as well just let everyone know it, all your deep, dark secrets. Because if you don't, people are going to find out anyway, and then it's going to look even worse. I mean, that's... I don't understand this shit, honestly. It's a strange thing. I don't think I'll ever understand any of this whole culty shit. Or how, like this whole, like, UFO community kind of thing gets, like, dragged into, like, this kind of stuff. I mean, because I've always been into, like, paranormal shit and stuff like that, and I never once thought about, like, following someone blindly and shit like that. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how it seems like this is something that happens regularly in this, like, in that community, man. Like, I don't understand how it seems like there's always some kind of, like, culty following. I mean, there's that Stephen Greer kind of has, like, a culty following in a way. I mean, doesn't seem near as bad as this, but I mean, seems like the UFO, like, community has kind of, like, a culty following normally. But I don't get it. I mean, can't you guys, like what people do without, like, worshiping them? You know, defending every move they make? I don't get it. Whatever. What? I really don't get it. But thank you all for listening. I hope you enjoy this one. This was entertaining for me to do, actually. Like, I didn't just rant about a bunch of dumb bullshit the entire time, I felt like. Which I normally do, right? But, you can follow me on Twitter, FLOTE, and mine's at PTRH Podcast. It's all the same handle, so either of those is the same exact thing. Or you can just type in Past the Rabbit Hole Podcast and it'll show up. Whatever, either or. I'm also on Odyssey, BitChute, and YouTube. It's Past the Rabbit Hole podcast for those as well. I mean, I use Odyssey the most, honestly. That one has probably the most shit on it. And, what else? Oh, also, if you want to get in touch with me outside of that, you can email me at ptrhpodcast@protonmail.com. And it really doesn't matter for what reason or anything, honestly. It would just be awesome to get in touch, like to hear from somebody that listens to the show, honestly. I think it'd be really awesome just to hear from anybody that listens to it. And, if you like the episode, please comment on it, share it, subscribe to the show on whatever whatever podcast thing you use, I guess. Or follow it, whatever it's called, follow, subscribe, whatever one it's called. That would be awesome. And yeah, thank you for listening, and until next time, motherfuckers, don't get sucked into a cult.